I'm just feeding the dogs, but I wanted to explain why today's filming has gone a bit wrong. We had the guys here cutting the yew hedges, which is amazing. They look seriously smart. However, the noise, we've also had a plumber in the house who's been drilling and doing all sorts of things. So I haven't even had to film anything yet, which hasn't quite been my plan of action. They're still coming back to finish this lot, so I'm not sure if they're coming tomorrow or Friday. I'm going to get a message later to let me know, but it's been one of those days that sometimes as a content creator they just don't go to plan, and you can have like your best plans. I thought they were going to arrive early and finish like, you know, normally they arrive at like 8 a.m. and they're finished at 3, and I was like, that gives me 2 hours, that's fine, we'll manage. But they didn't arrive, so I assumed they weren't coming today. And then I popped out, got back, and they were here. And the plumber arrived like first thing. So anyhow, we're gonna go and see what we can get done now. Welcome to this week's Ask Charlie. Now, this isn't quite what I had planned. My day has gone completely and utterly, like, not wrong, but just topsy-turvy. It's been very, very noisy here, so I was planning on filming this morning, but I haven't been able to. It's kind of gone completely wrong. And then I thought about filming something else, and that hasn't happened. So you're just going to have to bear with me. I also need to leave here in like 35 minutes to go and do the school run. So we're just going to do what we can as swiftly as possible. I might continue later on, but basically I thought we could make this room homely together. This has been our dumping ground. There's been a couple of moments where it's had a little bit of civilization in here, and then it hasn't. So I tried to get this room, first of all, like the first room, organized, and then we had to store our paintings in here, and then once we got the paintings up on the walls, we had to make this our sort of temporary backup kitchen. We had to clear all of the kitchen in order for the units to go in and the carpenter to do his thing. So everything came in here, and this has become a dumping ground again. Now, yesterday, Si and I moved everything back into there, out of here, kitchen-wise. The kitchen is what's the word? Waiting in progress. No, that's not the right word. I don't know what expression I'm looking for. It has been one of those days. And then I was also about to start filming, and I thought my husband was coming home because he's going away on a business trip. And then he got waylaid, and actually I've now lost him. He hasn't left. He's somewhere here, but I thought if I don't start this, it's never going to happen. So, waylaid. I can't even remember what the word is. But anyway. So I thought we could sort this out and get this kind of back under control. I've just shared with you the mess that's been going on in here, and it's also pretty filthy too. So let's sort it out. I put this rug down as a temporary when we had the kitchen bin in here. These are my samples for the kitchen that got moved in here. And actually, Coco has dumped her new riding boots in here too. So let's get this out. So the plan for this room is to be a peaceful space. We're not going to have a TV in here. We've got a desk over there which is cluttered with all sorts of things right now, which I need to organise. It's one of the things we're going to do. And just be a lovely space where we can sit at the desk with a wonderful view. The children can come in here and do revision, and it's just going to be like a peaceful, tranquil place. But it's not feeling like that at the moment because there is just a whole lot of stuff that has been dumped in here that needs sorting out. Now, luckily, because I did come back, he's helped me move an armchair from the barn and carry it in here. There was no point adding more furniture in here when we couldn't move with all the kitchen stuff in here too. So luckily, I did come back because this armchair that I thought I might be able to carry on my own, I definitely can't carry on my own. And the plan is that it's going to go over here I do need to wash the covers, but I need a really good, in fact the sun has come out now, but it's been pretty gloomy and pretty miserable all day. I need a lovely day when I can get the covers on the line and get them washed and done. But that armchair is going to go over there, and the armchair that is behind it, you're just about seeing the sun. I'm going to move to over here and just try and kind of balance and work this room out as best I possibly can. Jobs always feel more daunting than it actually is. I have started the process, and it's starting that makes it happen, if that makes sense. Like, you put off a job and you're like, oh, I'll tackle that tomorrow, I'll tackle that later. You've just got to start, you've just got to do it. I now need to go on the school run, so it's always slightly frustrating when you can't finish a job, but I have made a start, and that's what's important. So I will either finish later on and be back with you, or tomorrow. Just depends on supper, horses, dogs, all of that stuff. So we'll just see how it goes. But it is a good feeling to see that the desk is slightly clearer. You can actually sit down and write a letter or do something now, which is huge, huge progress. I'm back from the school run and I'm keen to crack on and get this done. I feel like when you start a job, you can sleep well when you know that you've finished it, if that makes sense. And this isn't going to be completely finished. It's not going to be perfect. It's work in progress. There are things in here that will go into the kitchen, and until the kitchen's a little bit further down the line, we've got the worktops in and things, I can't put them in there. They're quite precious. So I have got a box there, and I've got a box of pictures, which actually I need somebody to help me, or just take them down picture by picture into the barn to store. They're pictures that I don't love enough to put on the walls, but we love enough to keep. So actually I'm going to package them all away and store them in the barn. So that's my plan. But we're beginning to get a little bit more progress. I'm umming and ahhing over cushions, whether to go red, although this red one is a little bit big, red or blue. It's quite nice and cozy with the lamps on. I think I quite like the red on there. Anyway, I'm just umming and ahhing. I'm just trying to kind of fluff, if that makes sense. I love kind of fluffing and making things homely and moving things, and I'm sure lots will change in this room, but we're slowly getting there. There's still boxes to unpack and things to go through, and I can't, well, I could make all the decisions, but actually I quite like making the decisions with Simon. So I'll say to him, you know, shall we have this out, shall we not? So I get rooms to a stage, and then Simon and I will go through stuff together and be like, yeah, actually that means loads to me. I'd like to have it out on display, or actually I'm not that bothered about that. That can be packed away, or it can be sold. And actually somebody said to me, Charlie, where do you sell things? And that's a really good question. So auction. If an auction house won't have it, then I might sell it through like an individual seller. There's a shop locally to us that will sell furniture that's not high-end antique furniture, but it's good enough, and I think they take 40%, so it works quite well selling through somewhere like that. I will sell things online. It just depends what the item is and where to sell it, but if you've got something that isn't sentimental, that you don't love, that doesn't bring you joy, then it's time to rehome it. And so whether that is charity shop, whether that is selling it via, you know, one of those places that I just described, It just depends on what the item is. I've got some china from my grandparents, which I've offered to other members of the family, and they're not overly interested. So I will find, and I am just waiting until I've got a little bit more time to do some research to find the right place to sell it. I have spoken to Bellman's, our local auction house, and actually they're not interested in that sort of thing. There's not much of a market for china, like dinner services and things like that. Particularly, I would keep it if it could go in the dishwasher, but it can't. And so I just want stuff that I'm not that precious about in my life now. Like, there's things that I love and that are for like best, but actually they take up quite a lot of space and you don't tend to bring them out very often. So I would much rather have things that I use, that I love, that I enjoy getting out, rather than things that you've got to be really, really kind of precious about and be like worried that somebody might chip it or what have you. So, and I think a lot of other people are feeling like that. Gone are the days of grand dinner parties and, you know, staff to help you do the washing up and things like that. It needs to be practical. It needs to work. And, you know, that's why when I'm planning this room, it needs to work for us. Yeah, we might have a few too many chairs going on in here, but it works. And I want everybody to be able to come and sit in here and be comfy. That view is absolutely magnificent out of the window here. And I want to be able to sit at a clear desk and be inspired and what have you. I don't know whether that lamp will stay there. It's staying there for the moment, but again, that's something that I will probably change. And I will see what the light's like here in the evening and whether I need another lamp. These curtains have come from our previous house. They were in the hall / kitchen. I love them. They are a really, really beautiful fabric, and Di has worked wonders making them longer. And she's such a perfectionist. She was like, you know, Charlie, I'm worried you can see the join. You can't see the join. And also what Di did, which was terribly clever, is they were a little bit sun damaged from hanging there for 15 years. And Di has taken off that edge and she sort of swapped them round. And in fact, that edge isn't faded. She just sort of cut it out and has joined them and done a remarkable job. And so I'm making do, I'm reusing where I can. And that's what I love about, you know, homemaking. It's about make doing and mending, and not everything has to be perfect and it doesn't all have to work together. It can be a sort of mismatch of all sorts of things. And that's what I love about creating a space. It's just things that are special to us, like the pictures that are on the wall in here are really special to us. They're pieces that we wanted to have up. They're pieces that that have a story behind them and are sentimental. This piece that's in the fire, a friend, actually, an artist, Georgina Potter, painted it. It's a scene in Scotland, a very special place in our hearts. And George painted it for us, and I need to find, I actually think I want to frame it and pop it up. I need to find the right spot for it. It doesn't work, I don't think, in here unmounted with the rest of the feel of this room. This room is sort of quite sophisticated and elegant and traditional and classic, and so I think we will frame it, it's unframed at the moment, and put that somewhere else. But it's just about getting the space to work for you, and what, you know, what's my taste isn't necessarily going to be your taste or somebody else's. But if you come in and you feel that your home speaks to you, and you feel that you can sit down and you can relax, and either it inspires you to be creative, or it creates a sort of warm hug, like the snug next door. That room is a warm hug. I want it to be cozy. I want it to be snuggly. I want people just to put their feet on the ottoman, kick back, relax, enjoy a cup of tea and be kind of cozy. Whereas here it's more focused. It's more, I don't know, it's more of a sort of soothing yet inspiring room is what I get from the feel of this room, if that makes any sense to you. And then of course my kitchen is that creative place. And if you watched last week's vlog where I was talking about picture hanging, I know this might sound crazy, but every time I walk into our downstairs loo, I love it. It's just cozy, it feels comforting, it's lovely to have really kind of sentimental pictures around, and it's just a kind of cozy comfortable room, if that makes sense. I'm spending quite a lot of time in there at the moment because I actually put the washing up bowl on the loo with the loo seat closed, and then I fill it from a jug from the hand basin into the washing up bowl that's sat on the top of the loo seat, and then I carry it and then I do the washing up. So it's a bit of a performance, so I'm spending quite a lot of time in there, but it makes me happy when I walk in, and that's, I think, what a home should do for you. Yes, this is a rental, but it's a long-term rental. We hope to be here for a really good number of years. So I want to come in here and I want to feel homely. I want to feel comfortable. I want to feel relaxed, inspired, happy. Whereas if I wasn't making it homely, I would feel uncomfortable. I'd feel on edge. And that's, I think, what I get from homemaking. I want to walk into a space and feel that like love and warmth and yeah, I'm home. And that to me has always been a really, really important feeling. When I first went to Simon's little cottage that he was living in when I met him, I walked into the sitting room and I immediately felt that it was home. He has a very similar taste to my mother, and it just felt really homely. It had lovely kind of a lovely familiar cozy feel about it, and I just felt immediately comfortable and at ease, if that makes sense. Anyway, I'm going to carry on titivating, get the sofa, which you can't see, it's just out of shot here, looking comfy, and yeah, so you just want to sit down and relax, maybe read a book. So there we are, sofa is done, desk is clear. That lamp isn't working at the moment. I need to change the plug. It's a 5-amp plug on there, and so it's not working, but I'm going to leave it there for the moment. It's probably a little bit too big, but I don't want to put the lamp in the barn, so it's just going to have to stay there at the moment, and then we will jiggle things around. But this space is now looking calm, tranquil, and as I talked about earlier, I know I will walk in here and I'll think, yes, now it just needs a jolly good clean. And for that, I start at the top and I work my way down. So that is the next thing on the agenda, but I'm going to be doing that tomorrow. But I'm pleased I've got this room far more under control than it was. I've actually put a couple of the boxes into the kitchen, so when Simon's back we can actually just go through them. There are things that I don't necessarily think that we need to keep, but I want to check with him and see what he thinks first. So I've taken those boxes out and I was like, yeah, we're just gonna do that. And then when he gets back, he'll be like, wow, darling, you have worked wonders. There's a few things under that table there that need sorting, but on the whole, you can walk in here and be like, yes, this is feeling homely and lovely. And that was the plan. So thank you for joining me, creating this space, clearing it up, sorting it out, organising my desk so you can actually sit at it. And I'm actually going to sit and edit this video at that desk, admiring the wonderful view of the garden. So thank you for tuning in. I will be back on Friday with a vlog. All sorts going on this week, so stay tuned for that. And in the meantime, I'm sending love. Have a lovely week and thank you for joining me today.